With the next generation of consoles coming, Microsoft has been pushing its Microsoft Xbox Game Pass initiative, while Sony is adding to its older PS Now services. Our libraries are becoming more digital, such as our movies with Netflix and music with Spotify. You're going to see the pros and cons of the current distribution methods, as well as my opinion on it. Play Cable launched for the Intellivision in 1980, but was discontinued in 1983. This was the first online service for video game home consoles. GameLine, meanwhile, was pioneered by William F. von Meister. He created The Source, an early online service which was a precursor to CompuServe. After a failed attempt to have music sent through cable services due to legal issues, he converted his modem tech to use a phone line and used it to download games from central servers. The game had a master module cartridge which contained a modem. The pricing structure was per game, and you only had 5 to 10 plays. There was also plans for it to provide news, sports, scores, email, banking, and forums. Unfortunately, due to the video game crash in 1983, it caused this and Play Cable to bust. Fortunately, the founding members found Quantum Computer Services, which created Quantum Link. This was a precursor to AOL. A modem was available in Japan for the Japanese Genesis, called a Mega Drive in 1988, but to the lack of popularity of Sega's 16-bit console in Japan, a lack of a quality library, and high price, it was deemed a failure. Then in April 1993 is when Sega Channel was announced. It used cable TV tech to deliver content. National testing started in June and was more widespread in the US in December. A year later, it served on 21 cable providers and expanded to Canada in 1995. The fee was $15 a month with a $25 activation fee. It included the cartridge as well as coaxial connection. The Sega Channel, at its peak, had over 250,000 subscribers. Its selection was 50 different games each month. There were plans to bring the service to PCs as well in 1986. The way it worked is that it used a satellite station in which Sega sent out a CD-ROM to the satellite station. Then it would beam that data to an in-orbit satellite, and then it was beamed to local cable providers. The selection of games included Sonic & Knuckles, Eternal Champions, and Space Harrier 2 on the Sega front. Third-party selection games were games like Bubsy 2 and Disney's Aladdin. Some games had to have the content reduced to fit the 4 MB volatile RAM, which means when you turn it off, the games would be erased. One example is Street Fighter 2. Some exclusive games such as Treasure's Alien Soldier, Capcom's Mega Man Wily Wars, and Pulse Man. Lastly, there were demos for Primal Rage, which also had its own contest if you called in. OnLive was a streaming service which was founded in 2003. It used virtualization, which allowed simulated software environments to function on a single system. This reduced cost and physical space requirements. This is different than emulation since it simulates a system on a local machine. This allowed OnLive to stream gameplay to a console, desktop, or laptop, as long as it met with minimum system requirements. It received mixed reception due to input lag on a per-game basis. It was also then and now, with modern services, not able to be a substitute for owning games on local hardware. The demo elements were praised since it required download as well as a spectator mode. OnLive had a flat rate plan on which it allowed players to pay a monthly fee and get a 30% discount on game purchases, OnLive hardware, and peripherals. The company then had its patents acquired by Sony Interactive Entertainment and now is part of PlayStation Now. This happened in 2015. PS Now was launched on January 28, 2014. It was announced 2 weeks earlier on the 14th at the Las Vegas Consumer Electronics Show of that year. Besides PS3 streaming and PS4 streaming support, it also supported smart TVs. On September 20th, 2018, downloadable PS2 classics and PS4 games were added. As of this year, it has over 800 games available, with 300 downloadable to PS4. New games are added every month. As of October 2019, there are over 1 million subscribers. The bonus of PS Now is that it doesn't require a Plus account for online play. Reception for the service has been mixed at the start, but has improved over time as features and downloads are being added. Xbox Game Pass was launched on June 1st, 2017, with the catalog of original Xbox 360 and Xbox One titles. The key selling point of Game Pass is that Xbox Studio releases day and date as their physical counterparts. One example of this was Gears 5. It's currently available for Xbox consoles as well as Windows 10. The monthly price is $9.99 a month. On April 18th, 2019, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate was announced that combines Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass together at $14.99 per month. It does have limitations with 360 titles, where they cannot be downloaded to a 360 unless purchased. This service has been getting rave reviews from fans and critics alike. xCloud, Microsoft's streaming service, will allow players to stream on their Android and iPhones as well. It is currently being publicly tested and started on February 12, 2020 on Android phones. Google stated it was announced at 2019 GDC as its first foray into video games. It was known as Project Stream and had a closed beta running Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the Chrome browser in late 2018. It was released on November 19th, 2019. It currently only has the Pro tier, which is priced at $10, with a free tier coming soon this year. It also has a bundled controller with a Chromecast for $129. The Pro tier will give you 4K HDR with 60 frames per second with surround sound, while the free tier supports only 1080p. Chrome can also be played in a browser and via Android phones. Reception for it has been mixed and has been criticized for relying on connection quality. But it does work in optimal conditions. Reviewers have stated it is solid, but still not ready.
I can't even look around.
Pros of on-demand gaming services. Price and value proposition is great. With $9.99 for most of these services, it gives you access to hundreds of games. It also gives reduced financial risk on out-of-the-box projects that aren't AAA. A great examples are titles such as Untitled Goose Game and Outer Wilds on Game Pass. Volume will help in attachment rates for next-generation consoles. Recently, it has been reported that the PS5 will cost about $450 per unit, with compensating for the cost of manufacture is by buying games and accessories on the customer's end. Since players can buy subs to access multiple games, it's a cost-effective way for the first parties to get a return on investment. This does favor Microsoft in the push for Game Pass. Arguments against on-demand gaming services. One issue of on-demand gaming services is if the company that service is discontinued, players will most likely lose access to their game libraries due to authentication and not able to re-download content, unlike keeping a physical copy, which can be installed even if servers are down. It also has the potential for developers to make less money since they might have a lack of a physical release. Lastly, it could affect the design for shorter experiences in like crowded marketplaces with less than stellar titles. Okay, recently, this is an edit, I'm just going to add in here. There's been a Business Insider article about how publishers are kind of wary about these services and having games become the Netflix of games. I'm going to go get some quotes here. If you want to go look at it, it's a Business Insider article titled "Video Game Makers Are Worried That the Industry is Adopting a Netflix Model." There's 3 bullet points here. This is from a ResetEra article, which I'll link down below as well. Like movies, TV, and music before it, the video game industry is currently going through a paradigm shift towards subscription services. MSS Game Pass and Apple Arcade are leading in change, the charge, but they're just the tip of the iceberg. This shift has been majorly beneficial to video game fans who have more ways than ever to play great games. But game makers, speaking with Business Insider, tell a different story. Quote, what happened with the other industries is big checks are written for a while until the platforms don't need content creators anymore. One game publishing executive said. Another quote, it's an offer you can't refuse, another studio executive told Business Insider. If you destroy the model of purchasing and replacing it with a subscription model, subscription model is all that's left. It's just Netflix and Blockbuster. Instead of renting per video, you're paying for subscription services. So basically, this is going to, reduce the amount of potential revenue. I mean, I covered this before in the video. They're kind of worried. I just hope we still have a box product. In conclusion, it's hard to say what the next generation of video games will look like in another 10 years. Right now, the next gen will have subscription services as a key factor for both companies' strategies. I think Microsoft is doing the best way, as well as Sony, taking it slow, while Stadia is tripping over itself by trying to doubling down on this streaming stuff. For the perspective in the industry, it's too early to tell because according to this year's GDC 2020 State of the Industry report, only 8% of future projects are targeting Google Stadia and 6% on xCloud. The response from one publisher, Take-Two, for Outer Worlds has been, it is hard to say, and it's early days for these platforms.